Hi guys, I'm Katrina from Katrina's Creative Heart. I'm here today. I want to show you how I made this really cute well wishes card for someone who may not be feeling so good, with this really cute pop-up tissue box that I'm sure is going to cheer anybody up who doesn't feel well. And I'm even going to do a coordinating envelope with you. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I did that. I am using 2 stamp sets. I usually try to stick with one, but I loved the abstract impressions, the designs, and I loved this sentiment. If flowers were hugs, I'd send you 1,000. I thought that was perfect for the inside of our card, while the dandelion wishes, I thought the sending well wishes your way was more than appropriate for the front of our card. So we are going to use these 2, and these 2 happen to be some of my favorites in the new catalog. I'm also going to be using some of this beautiful white tulle polka dot ribbon. Love this stuff. It's beautiful, it's easy to work with, and it works with almost every card design you can think of. I am going to be using my layering ovals. I'm going to be using the smallest oval in the layering ovals framelits collection. I'm using for ink, we are using the Poppy Parade, which is one of our returning colors, and one of our new colors, the Petal Pink. Okay, to get started, I do have my card base, which is a standard card base. This is cut 8.5 by 5.5, and I have it squared and folded at a 4 1/4. Okay. I am using the little rose from the Abstract Impression set, and I am bringing in my Petal Pink ink, which is a tone-on-tone look here. And we're just going to randomly stamp our pattern. And you just kind of want to be random, twist the stamp around a little bit so you're not getting the same look every time. Just put it in there. Add one down here, this corner here. Okay, I think that should be enough right there. I'm using my Simply Chamois to clean my stamps. I love my Simply Chamois. Mine is getting really well loved and yucky, but it works great. Just because it's stained doesn't mean it doesn't work. Just remember that. Okay, so now I have my card base done, the front of it anyway, for the moment. I'm just going to set it aside and close up my ink pad. And I think I am all finished with that ink pad, so I'm going to set that aside. Now, I am going to bring in my scoring tool. I have here a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. This is cut 5 inches by 3 inches. And on the 5-inch side, I am going to do some scoring. So I'm going to bring in my scoring tool. Hopefully you can see that. I'll bring that down a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to put the long side against the top here. And I'm going to score it 1 inch, 2.5, and then 3.5. Okay, and that's all I have to do for scoring. So I'm just going to set this aside. Now, to make my tissue box, I do need an opening for my tissue. And you're going to see you have this 1-inch area, and then you have this wider area, then it gets narrow again and wide again. This wide base is your bottom. This wide piece is your tissue box top. Then these narrow sides become the sides of your tissue box. Okay, so on this here, what's going to be your top, which is the first wide after the first narrow, is where you're going to cut your tissue box. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Big Shot and cut this. However, I've already got one ready so that you don't have to wait for me to do that, but that's where I would create my cut. Okay. So now you see I have my tissue box top, and now I'm just going to fold on all of my score marks. But before I put this into my card, I do want to do some stamping. So I'm going to bring my mat back in and my stamp. I'm still using the same rows, but now I'm going to bring in my Poppy Parade because I'm keeping with my tone on tone look. So again, I'm just going to randomly stamp just like you would see a design on your tissue box at home. Look at some of your Kleenex boxes. See how they're decorated. Just like so. Again, bring in that Simply Chamois and give it a good scrub. Okay, so now our tissue box is officially decorated. So now we can bring back our card base. So now I'm going to use a good strong adhesive. This is where I'm going to use my tear and tape. Okay, and I'm going to add adhesive to this narrow and then to the base, which is the widest little section. So get a piece of tear and tape here. I only need one piece for this edge, and then the wider one I'm going to place two. And just going to give it a good rub in so that it sticks down really well, because you want it down there good. Now how this is going to go in here is literally I am going to just fold it in half, just like that on those score lines. And I'm just going to center it in here like so, up against that fold. Okay? So I'm going to start with the base. And again, just up against that fold. Find your eyeball, your center there, and just lay it down. Burnish it a little so it has a good contact. Then I'm going to pull up the backing on this top piece. And again, just fold it up. And again, burnish. Okay, so now you have your pop-up tissue box. Alright, now I'm going to bring back in my sentiments, and I'm going to find my Poppy Parade ink pad here. Set these aside. And this is the If Flowers Were Hugs sentiment. I'm going to do the inside of my card with. So try to keep it straight. Perfect. Let's see if I can get that in there for you. Okay. So that takes care of that. So I'm going to set that aside one more time, and I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of Whisper White. And again, I still want my Poppy Parade. And this is my sentiment from the Dandelion Wishes, the sending well wishes your way. Again, we're trying to make someone feel better. There we go. Close this up, because now we are all finished stamping. Now I want my 2-inch circle punch. Pop that out. And then I have a piece of Poppy Parade that I did punch out with my Starburst punch here. That 2-inch is going to really layer nicely on this. I just got a little bit of snail. And I'll line them up. A little better than that. There we go. Burnish that down. I'm going to bring back my tissue box, and now I want my tulle ribbon. Love this stuff. It's beautiful, and it's wonderful to work with. It really is. I just cannot tell you how great it is to work with. It just goes with everything you're stamping. You never have to worry about it. It coordinates, I swear, with everything I've ever done. I've been using it a lot. There we go. It does stretch. So you do, when you're tying it in knots like this, need to trim your edges a little bit. There we go. So now I have a pretty little bow here. Oops. Just fuss with it a little to get it in the spot you really want it in here. There we go. Now I'm going to bring back my sentiment. I need a couple of dimensionals. And of course I top and bottom. So we can go right over our ribbon, just like that. Okay? So that takes care of that part. So now, I did take a actual Kleenex out of my box, and I trimmed it down to, like, in thirds. And I'm just gonna stuff it into my little tissue box here. So you have a real little Kleenex popping out of your tissue box. Just like so. So it folds up nicely. When your recipient pulls it out of the envelope, they're going to get a surprise, and that's going to make them smile, and they're going to feel so much better. That's the premise here. Alright, so now we got to do an envelope. We want our envelope to coordinate with our card. So we need some sticky notes. Just a few, because we're going to protect this part of our envelope. So we just want the flap. There we go. Alright, so the rest of the envelope is protected. So now we can randomly do our flap, and we're going to use the petal pink this time. Again, using our rose. There. That should do it. Close that up, peel away the sticky notes. We now have a coordinated envelope. Pull all the stuff out of your way. There you have it. An adorable pop-up tissue box. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.